All right. Good morning. Sunday morning. Come into the room. Come into the room. Out of respect to God, hallelujah. Out of respect to God, I'm going to try to not curse this broadcast. All right. Amen. Hallelujah. Come into the room. Come into the room. And there is John in the room. It's not easy to find a recording of that song. I've been looking, and I'm like, thank God you find some of it on YouTube, but I'm trying to buy it, right? Like off iTunes or iMusic, whatever it's called, right? Wherever you get the music from. Now you guys see how much I care about this. Now you see. I don't know if it's iTunes, iMusic, Apple Music. Okay, I'm trying to get this song because you want to keep your culture, you want to keep your legacy, right? You want to keep your heritage, and you want to know that. And of course, I know it; it's in my head forever, right? But like, what about the rest of you, right? What about your children and your descendants? And everyone should know these classic songs. If you don't know that song and you're like, why does she keep saying that? Then something's wrong with you. Okay, it's a classic. In the room. Come into the room. Come into the room. All right. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for joining, Natasha. Good to see you. So no more Ratchet wars, okay? This is a live. It's just an impromptu little live. Once again, why? Because and I'm waiting for like the rain to stop so that I can go for a run because it's supposed to rain all day. Okay, it's supposed to rain all day. And I really want to go for a run. I've been going for like daily, like 5-mile runs, me and my husband. And it's really been helping. It's really been helping. Like I was doing biking, I was doing hiking, I was doing a lot of stuff, but not consistently. And when I started jogging consistently, I mean, I did the bike consistently, I'll be honest, but it just doesn't burn the same amount of calories, right? Running consistently definitely helps. So just keep that in mind if you're on a weight loss journey. Okay. So no more Ratchet wars. What does that mean? I'm just trying to be honest. This Sunday morning, I'm just trying to be honest, I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. Like, a lot of reasons why I don't make videos is because it's overwhelming. I've told you guys before, I'm an empath, and like that's actually true. Okay. And I'm a very strong empath. It's one of the skills that I use to practice discernment in people. Is being an empath and knowing that my instincts are correct, point blank, period. So I never question my instincts. I might question things that I've thought about over and over and over and over again, but I never question my instincts. Put it that way. But there's some people who are like that, but they should question their instincts, right? And of course, you have to hone that. I used to question my instincts when I didn't know myself and I didn't trust myself and I didn't understand my powers, because yes, there is power in being an empath, point blank, period. Point blank, period. And a lot of times I think when we start off knowing that we're empaths, we're like, I'm at a disadvantage, right? I'm at a disadvantage because being an empath means that you care about how other people feel and other people can take advantage of you, and right? And it's like, okay, yeah, it can mean that. And you've probably gone through that for a long time. Like, raise your hand if you went through that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't always have to be that way. And I tell you guys this all the time on my channel. Like, I don't believe that we're stagnant as people, but I see a lot of people being stagnant. And those are the people, I tend to stay away from, because I like human beings that understand that we should always be changing. We should always be changing. Now, does that mean that like one day you care about your family and the next day you up and leave? No, that's not the kind of change I mean. Okay, because y'all love to use quotes as an excuse, right? For that epidemic, right? That the daddy's left epidemic. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. Because y'all foul. Y'all make shit up. Y'all know that. Y'all know y'all do. Y'all know y'all do. Don't look like that. Thank you, Lord. Let go, let go. All right? Don't tell me I don't do that. You do it all the time. You make shit up to fit some weird narrative because some YouTuber guy that hates women told you to say such and such, right? I'm talking to the guys who aren't listening. I don't believe, let me tell you something. Hello, Fred. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't believe him. There's people that come on here under troll accounts that have male names. Let me tell you something. I don't believe you're a man unless you show me you're a man. I'm gonna put it that way. I'm gonna put it that way because I know a lot of these people are actually content creators. They use y'all, the audience. They use y'all. Oh shit! Sorry. All right, we're back. Fucking equipment. They use y'all to start beefs and to start, because they have tumultuous lives and they like that ish. I don't like this ish. Okay? I'm just gonna be honest. I don't like that kind of ish. That's not for me. That's why you don't see me engage in it. But then people wanted to get mad because I'm talking on it. Look, it is what it is. This is the space, baby. I've been in it long enough. I'm going to speak on what I'm seeing. I'm going to speak on what I've seen and what I've personally experienced. It is what it is. And I mind my business. I mind my business. I've worked with other content creators that aren't in this sector like that, put it that way. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in this sector, right? Because like I said, people will be watching my videos and taking ish from my videos, but nobody wants to shout out DanieSteel, home of the Purpleprint. Okay. And I know, I like to have a good time, but I think that I also fairly serious, and you can be both, and I just happen to be a person that likes to have a fun time, but is also very serious. It is what it is. Life made me that way. So no more Ratchet wars, right? What does it mean? I know what's going on. I don't know. Fred DK, are you a guy? What I'm telling you, Fred DK, maybe you don't understand what's going on because I've seen you on here often and you have really good vibes. You don't come off, as like one of the people that I'm talking about. So you probably don't understand what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is I believe that there are female content creators that will come under other female content creators' accounts and pretend to be male trolls to cause division, to say things to cause division, right? To make, of course, Fred DK, it's good to see you. I love giving people compliments to cause division if it's appropriate. You know what I'm saying? I hate when like there's an opportunity for a compliment and then people don't give it. I'm like, I see you around here all the time, Fred DK. You seem like a cool guy, right? All right. But that's what I'm saying. Some people are coming on here acting like angry men. So I can be like, oh, I hate the men. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not a puppet at all. I don't really do anything anybody else says or tells me to do or anything like that. Like I don't move that way unless I'm being paid. In which case, I will promptly move and do what people say. That's not a question. That's not a problem. Okay, but to do what people I don't know, who don't mean nothing to me, don't pay my bills, like no, I don't move that way. Okay, so I believe that there are women that are doing this, that are spiteful and have a lot of time to waste, apparently. Stuff like that, and that they need to heal, and that's why I thought about like, it's Ratchet. It's all so Ratchet, right? And like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't want that. Ratchet wars. I don't care about that ish. Like, exactly, Sammy. Exactly, Sammy. I'll tell you how I peeped it. I've been in this space for many years, minding my business, making my fun little content, and having Black people come up under my ish, talking about something, you ain't this and you ain't that. I'm like, y'all ain't supporting me at all. And I'm not even talking, like, I'm talking to everybody. Like, I'm having a good time. I'm being myself. I'm minding my business. I'm not in these beefs and in these streets, okay? I was in a condo. All right. I was in a condo. I wasn't in the streets. But they brought me down to the streets. Back to the streets. And now I'm back to the streets. All right. No. I don't feel like I'm in the streets, but to be honest, what I'm saying? Like I peep what's going on around me, point blank, period. I've interacted with people. It's not a problem. It is what it is, And I hate divisiveness. I've told you guys this before. Get ready for the aliens. Why are you fighting each other? Get ready for, okay, all right. I'm not going to tell you again to get ready for these aliens. All right? What is you worried about with each other? Y'all need to be building something huge to fight these aliens. That's what you need to do, right? It's too much divisiveness. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm not going to be fooled, but because I'm going to be honest. Whenever I interact with Black men in real life, it's usually respectful. It's usually respectful, and some guy can like record this and be like, you hear what she said? Yeah, I've said it in multiple videos. Just because I'm going to go hard and advocate for Black women doesn't mean that I've ever been a part of this like back and forth wars. I don't believe in that ish. I don't. It's too much else that you up against. All right. It's demons out here, baby. You can believe it or not. But the difference between me and everyone else in life is when I'm around people, I want to work together. I'm like, can we work together and like be a team? And everyone's around you like trying to backstab and be like, no, and I'm like, oh, weird, creepy. I think it's weird that people don't want to work with other people, But at the same time, there's a lot of people out here, very phony, very fake. I've been around, this Amber Heard situation with Johnny Depp. I'm sorry, but I just realized like I had a similar interaction, where I was like, wow, this chick really got me on some like Amber Heard, Johnny Depp ish on an acquaintance level, not on a romantic level, obviously, right? Like they were married, but I was an acquaintance with this person. And, they just came off as like really, really calm and chill and cool and sweet, right? Because it's like, if I talk like this and I tell you about my dog and I look at you and I scrunch my face every time you do something that's cool or interesting, right? And I just come off as really sweet and I need to be protected. And even happy, and I'm so happy for everyone else. Right? There's a bunch of ways women can manipulate their voices. I can talk like this for an entire conversation. And I think that anyone that knows me knows that. I can talk like this for an entire conversation. That's not a problem. But like that doesn't mean that I'm more feminine. That doesn't mean that I'm sweeter. It doesn't mean that I'm nicer, I'm kinder, right? All these feminine traits that we give to women because they have higher pitched voices, which I've told you guys before is not even a thing almost anywhere else but in America. Okay? I noticed the women have higher voices in Asia as well, but they're not afraid to have a lower toned voice, like Viola Davis, who has a beautiful voice and is very feminine. Viola Davis is probably one of the most feminine women I've ever seen. Are you kidding me? So you guys have a warped view of femininity. And you have a warped view of masculinity. I said that in the last video, which after the end of today will be placed onto Patreon. So if you haven't listened to the last video, go ahead and check that out, because you'll see what I'm talking about with these trolls, with these women who like will say things. A black man's not going to come into your comment section and be like, what does your Italian American husband feel about you talking loudly in the amazing American suburbs so early in the morning? Like I've never heard a black man talk that way. So like I said, if I'm going to assume you're a woman unless you show me you're a man. I don't care what your YouTube troll name is. I don't care. And I promise you that. I don't go by that. I go by words. And see, these trolls want to come on and create divisiveness. Again, you know, I usually, at this point in my life, I've already told you guys infinite stories about, I told you yesterday on my last live about Tyrone, my aunt's boyfriend Tyrone, being inappropriate with me as a young girl. I said that in the last video. You can check that out, right? So I've talked about the other side. Now I'm talking about the other side too. Well, the other side is, and I'm not gonna lie, it's not so much in my personal life. No, I don't have great relationships with men that I believed I would have great relationships with. I don't have those, but that's not on me. That's not on me, baby. That's not on me. I can't control a deadbeat dad, and I can't control the children deadbeat dads produce, and how they handle trauma and what they do and what they won't do, which is heal, which is grow, which is change, right? I can't control that. So I can't control those types of relationships. But, you know, I used to, when I met like black guys, like on set, like at work, doing like background or doing, you know, some company, you know, photo shoot for something, right? And I would talk to them about like Malcolm X, and I would be like, this is what I would do, you know, and they were like, back the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear it. Like nobody wants to hear it, you know? And this young woman that I follow on Twitter, who's a former foster youth, like myself, made a great point about how, you know, when we talk about breaking generational trauma, we can't talk about that on an individual level, right? So, and I want to read it word for word, because again, I hate when people steal shit. I don't steal shit. If I tell y'all something, either I thought of it personally or I will shout out who I heard it from. So let me get that. And if you're not already following me on other social media accounts, please make sure to subscribe to me here right now and support this channel. I don't have to come on and do this. Part of my healing is doing what I want and just taking time for myself. But I wanted to take this time that I take for myself to give a little bit of something back to y'all, instead of just chilling and enjoying the journey, right? Because I feel like I've done that enough too, right? Where I've been like, wow, I've been able to, and it's because of the pandemic, but you know, I've been able to sit back and just have time for myself, you know? And a lot of people will call that loneliness, but I don't consider time by yourself loneliness. And I think that's the difference between me and a lot of other people. Now don't get me wrong, there are times where I feel lonely, but I can be with people and feel lonely, you know? So my understanding of loneliness is different than other people's. You're heading to get the subs?
Yes.
Thank you. They trying to come on here, trying to start ish, talking about some, what is your husband who's from the south of France? I'm like, why do you know everything about my husband? Ugh. That don't sound like something a black dude would do. I don't know. To me, like I said, I've had good interactions with black men as at this adult stage in my life generally, you know. Except for the ones that are personal and close to me because, again, they have a lot of healing and stuff to do. What you're not going to do is project what you want to say to your mama and or your daddy on me. And that's why I stop them dead in their tracks on my channel. Go say it to your mama and your daddy. That's what you're mad at. You ain't mad at me. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You don't know me. So that doesn't add up. So find the hurt and then learn to heal. Okay? Find the hurt and then learn to heal. Make sure you subscribe to me here, DanieSteel. Thumbs up the video, please. And also follow me on my other social medias. Twitter, La Cuchi Loca, La Cuchi Loco, DanieSteel, and Instagram, DanieSteel. Okay. So what this young woman who's very mature, and I think being a former foster youth contributes to that maturity because you have to grow up so quickly. You have to grow up so quickly. I'm one of these people, yeah, I can say, like, I never felt like I had a childhood. Even though I can remember my childhood, I remember things I did in my childhood, I always remember having a mentality of an adult and being aware of things that adults have to be aware of. And that's why those skills in me are very advanced today. And I'm not going to downplay that. And I'm not going to, like, let people treat me like I'm less than because I had a harder experience. If anything, I overcame things that other people would never have been able to go through. That makes me amazing. So I don't know what people are talking about. I really don't. That's what I'm saying. You can never play me, these whack trolls. Okay, so this is what this young woman says. Her name is Daily Cup of Jew. Okay, I'm just saying. Jooo. She said, painting healing as an individual process is so damaging. Healing is interconnected for all of us. To heal, we need all of us to heal. We need systems of care that everyone can get we need, whatever. Our vision of healing has to be bigger than individual therapy, right? So she says, I hate to break it to y'all, but that was a side tweet. This is the main tweet. She said, I hate to break it to y'all, but generational trauma cannot be fully healed by just one person in the family line. And I found that interesting because I feel like I'm breaking generational trauma in the family line, right? And again, this is a young woman, right? So I believe she's in her early 20s, right? So there's a lot that I believed in my early 20s, which I've learned otherwise today, right? And I relate to what this young woman is saying because I felt that way when I was her age. I felt this way, right? And she says, I hate to break it to y'all, but generational trauma cannot be fully healed by just one person in the family line. Generational trauma is created by intergenerational structural harm and therefore must be healed by structural change. Applying individualism to healing ain't it. Yo, I totally agree. Daily Cup of Jooo. I totally agree. But unfortunately, the reality is people don't get on board like that. That's the reality, right? So I'm like, in an ideal world, people would understand that and they would move accordingly. And everyone would do their part to help to break these generational curses and traumas. What do I mean? Well, the people benefiting from colorism, right? They would acknowledge that. The people benefiting from sexism, they would acknowledge that. The people benefiting from classism, they would acknowledge that. It's as simple as doing little things like that. But people don't even want to acknowledge things. It's a constant state of denial. So this idea that, yeah, we have to change. And what I love about what she's saying is that I'm like, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And that's what I'm trying to do on my channel. I'm trying to break structures. I'm speaking about things on a macro level. I might use micro level examples, but I'm not talking about individual-ish. My bottom line is look at the structure. Look at the bigger picture, people. Okay? Talking about some, and you got a troll will come on my channel talking about some, why are you speaking loudly in the morning? What are you talking about? It's 10:47, baby. I live in the suburbs. Everybody's been up. Everybody's been up since 7. What are you talking about? The weekend don't change nothing. What do you mean? People are weird. Anyways, when I'm interacting with people, I acknowledge the handful of years that I've lived in the suburbs, right? As affecting my perception of what is happening. People only think of things as like there's just one picture going on. That's not the case. There are multiple pictures going on. You don't have to believe what anyone's telling you to believe. You can assess what's going on and make your own conclusions based on the information that you're being given. Okay? So, I just felt like I completely agree that we need to look at how racism impacts generational trauma. Is it generational trauma or is it racism? Is it generational trauma or is it colorism? Is it generational trauma or is it classism? It's all of it. It's all of it. But there is still accountability that needs to be had. You can't just say, well, all those isms were affecting, and that's why I couldn't raise my kids. BS. BS. One of the conversations I saw several years ago that I was stunned by was people talking about the military, right? And they were being like, ACAB, right, and the military. And I was like, ACAB and the military? What's going on? People go into the military for all sorts of reasons. A lot of Black Americans have gone to the military because they had no choice. It was one of the only jobs available. It was one of the only ways to provide for their families. You can't come here and judge that. You can't do that. When you know nothing about the experience. Right? And I'm proud of my family members that served, that chose to serve instead of chose the streets. Fuck. So I was appalled by that, and I understand that the American government has a lot to account for. Baby, a lot to account for. But we got to stop blaming everything on people, individual people, right? At the same time, let's go back to the accountability, okay? So my deadbeat bio dad told me that, when he was in the military, was it Nam? Was it Nam? I think it might have been Nam or Nam. Anyways, right? He said that they called him the N-word, and he was shocked by this because just like I was shocked by it when I was in school. So baby, it's nothing new. Welcome to the America that's been left here for us. Let's take a hard look at the leaders we had and how they were lost. It was a lot of Ratchet wars that contributed to that. So, he ultimately was, did not want to stay with the military because of this, right? And chose, I guess, the street life, right? And it's like, dude, they did the same thing to me in school. I got the microaggressions. I got the gaslighting because they wouldn't say the N-word straight out. And then sometimes they did. Sometimes it was blatant. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's not. And that's what I'm saying. What kind of world are you leaving for your children? What kind of world are you leaving for the people you claim to care about? He should have stayed and fought, right? That's what I feel. But the bottom line is I've had other family members as well. A lot of family members that have served in the military, and they were honorably discharged and served with distinction. And I was proud of them for that. But he wanted to say his experience was worse than mine, And it's like, you're the father. You're supposed to be the head. The head. What kind of sense it make the head? The head is the one giving out the directions, the one to tell the body, oh, why you turn left? Why you do it like that? You're the one giving the directions, head. See, the man is the head. Head of what? Head of what? His own head. That's what he had. Head of his own body. And that's it. The head of his own body. Because if you ain't leading me, you ain't going to lead. I'm not going to follow somebody into the pits of hell. Fuh. So, I just feel like, of course, we need to look at those systems and those structures and break those chains, all of it. And how better to do that than with your family unit. And that's why I talk about the Smiths all the time, because I'm like, you know what? They stick together. We go together. They stick together. All right. And I'm sorry, but I'm like, a lot of people, that's not important to them when it comes to family. A lot of people, when it comes to family, family is just something to take for granted. Family is just something to take for granted. You got to ask yourself if that's what you're doing with your life right now. Taking your family for granted. I never took my family for granted. That's one thing about me, baby. I don't take family for granted. A lot of people do. And so when you have an idea of, I would get together with family and talk about these structural and systematic issues and hey, instead of you having an attitude towards me all Thanksgiving dinner, let's talk about these systems and structures and how we can break these chains. They didn't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear that. Do y'all understand that? I was literally told, like, nobody wants to hear that. Stop talking about racism. We just want to have fun. Like, what is this, the 80s? Oh, gosh. I'm a bit... I couldn't believe it. I was like, imagine if you get on top of these issues right now. And that was a decade ago, ladies and gentlemen. That was a decade ago. We've lost a decade. But guess who didn't lose a decade? Me. I lost a decade believing that other people could change. I lost a decade believing that other people could grow. Because, baby, I saw myself grow and change in this decade, and I didn't see other people grow and change. And you got to be mindful of that. You can go back to my first videos. I'm not the same. So if you're going off the happy birthday video and think that you're talking to the same person, you're going to play yourself. I grow, I change, I evolve. It's beautiful. That's what I'm supposed to do. Not sit around and be brainwashed and indoctrinated all day. But if that's what you're up for, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is, yes, I'm going to come on here and talk about all the BS as well, because that's what people want, baby. That's what they want to hear. Okay? They don't want to hear me talk about this ish all day. I'm not going to do it. That's why I talk about my Patreon. No, I'm going to talk about the little-minded issues that everybody wants to hear about, right? Let's talk about the housewives. Let's talk about the basketball wives, right? Let's talk about other people and what they're doing and what they're wearing and who they're dating. Isn't that interesting? So I'm gonna do that too. But that's why I love my Patreon, because I'm actually get to go there and just it's real conversation, real ish. La Gucci Loca, La Cochi Loco, La Cochi Loco. Let me type it in the chat. Um, that's based off of a Narcos character. Me and my husband love Narcos. All of the Narcos we love. Excellent, excellent series. Excellent acting. I don't watch a lot of TV shows. People will sit there and be like, they're showing that show and this show and that show. I'm like, God damn, have you ever, when's the last time you read a book? When's the last time you went outside? That's a lot of TV shows. That's a lot of time online. If it's not good acting, I'm not gonna bother. Period. I need good acting. Because everything is so obviously bad acting at this point. So yeah, so that was how I felt about that Ratchet war, right? The intergenerational trauma war that we have with each other, with our families. The way we see these fathers walking out on their children and failing their children, and the women, the way we see these women raising these children, when we see a lot of it is not very well. And a lot of it, you can see the trauma that she has from being a single mother. That's a traumatic experience. That's based off of what I've heard from women that are single mothers. Not that it's some like horrible experience. I didn't say that. But there's a lot of trauma, right? And raising a child on your own, right? Because it was meant to be for two people to do. It was meant to be for two people to do. And I completely respect and I defend single mothers on this channel all the time, and that will never change. My parents were married, but my mother was a single mother because, deadbeat daddies, right? Deadbeat daddies, because Maury told them to be deadbeat daddies. Maury or Ricky, because they were brainwashed and listening to the TV, right? Didn't we see this with Clubhouse Julius? Brainwashed and listening to the TV and thinking that he's the slave that the movie's talking about. Like, what are you doing, bruh? You need context. You need an understanding of history and who your ancestors were and who you are today and your responsibility and your accountability today. But they listening to the TV. Talking about the TV said this and TV said that. I turned off the TV, and I've never in my life been like TV to TV. I mean, don't get me wrong. I did. The last time I did that, I was binge watching Dawson's Creek. I'm gonna be honest. I was obsessed. Every episode, I had to watch it live. I'm just being honest. Okay? And if you watch my channel, you know that I thought that I was the Black Joey Potter. Okay? With no Pacey or Dawson. Okay? Just myself. And, I went to an all-girls school. I went to an all-girls Catholic high school, so. I didn't have a lot of dating options in high school, and I didn't date in high school, and I didn't date in college until like the very last year. Okay, I'm a very particular person. I don't do things because other people are doing them. I do it because I want, when I want, how I want. Unless I'm being paid to do otherwise, in which case I'll do whatever the person paying me to do tells me to do. Okay. Please understand that. I'm not some like rebel where I'm like, how I want, where I want. Like, no. Like, I'm not Johnny Silverhand. Like, no. Right? Everything burns. Like, no. I'm happy to follow direction when I'm being paid to do it. But for people to think that I'm going to be on YouTube just saying what I think people want me to say and doing what I think people want me to do, that's not going to happen. I do what I want to do. So let's stop that weird ratchet war. But of course, you're not going to stop. So because you're not going to stop, then I'm going to have to come at it from my POV. It is what it is, right? But, wouldn't it be nice if you just all got it together and started doing the right shit for these kids? Oh my God, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? I think about how different my life would have been if my parents had gotten it together before they had me. instead of leaving all that work to me. I'm like, you left all the work to me? It's like when I was growing up in foster care and I would come home from a basketball tournament and I played 2 or 3 games that night and it's 11 o'clock and there's a sink full of dishes and I got to do the dishes because I'm the foster kid. Oh, they don't tell y'all about that because people writing about this shit don't know about it because everyone's fake and everybody's co-opting off of other people's experiences. Yeah, they would leave a dish full of sink. Two dishes. You know how they had the 2 sinks. 2 sinks full of dishes for the foster kid to clean up. When I got back home, because it was my week to do the dishes, man, F that. So I stopped doing it. And then they had this white guy caseworker came in and he basically cursed me out like I was the last thing. Because I said, I'm in school. You know, he basically was the first Kevin Samuels, this caseworker, this white guy caseworker. And he's like, why aren't you doing what she tells you to do? I said, I'm in school 12 hours a day. I'm not in school to be her housewife. I'm not in school to be a housewife. I'm in school to, you know, to better myself, get education, and to be better. So I'm not coming back home and doing this. And they were so mad about it, right? And for the first Kevin Samuels, you know, and they were like, oh, look at the way she talks. You know, because I was like 16 talking like this, right? It is what it is. It is what it is, bum. I bet you those 2 people are still where they're at. Those 2 people, that foster woman, I don't call them mothers because they're not. That foster woman and that caseworker are right where I left them, in the gutter. Okay? Because they don't want to change. They don't want to grow. They don't want to learn. So, you know, it goes back to that conversation about, yeah, we can't do it alone. Like, yeah, maybe I didn't think I could do it alone either. That's why I was so insistent. Like, please, family, we got to work together. And they was like, back up with that weak straight up. That's how everybody responded to it. You can't do healing work for these motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. You cannot do healing work for other people. You cannot. You have to do it for yourself. And understand when you're doing it for yourself that it has a lot less to do with those people than it has to do with a lot of failure of systems and structures. But these individuals still have to have accountability. Just understand that and grow and learn and change. People don't want to do that. I'm not going to be around people who their idea of reality is like what the government, what the TV tells them, what the TV told them in some capacity. With the media, that's bizarre to me. If you can't prove that you're thinking on your own, we're good. We're good. And most people can't. You know, I'll interact with very colorist men, you know, and I'm like, wow, I'm not going to jump through hoops and prove I'm nothing for you at all. If you couldn't work on that, you couldn't change that, you just went full throttle into colorism, but I'm supposed to care about your experiences with racism, right? More than I care about the effects of racism and colorism on me, right? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to care about somebody else more than they care about themselves. If you cared about yourself, you wouldn't be colorist because you look like a clown. If you cared about yourself, you would educate yourself about why you move the way you move and why you do the things that you do. That's why I know if anybody tries to troll me, this is a person that doesn't care about themselves. And therefore, this is an insignificant individual. And I don't give a fuck who they are. And I don't like being around people who don't care about themselves. There's something very dangerous about that. Very dangerous. Because if they don't care about themselves, they don't care about anything, and they have nothing to lose. Unhinged, unhealed individuals. Another one of these Ratchet wars, right, which is, to me, the Diaspora wars. And, you know, I told you guys before on my channel, like, I grew up, a lot of my close friends were throughout the diaspora, right? And, of course, I grew up, I had the kids on my street, but I spent a lot of time in school as I got older. And my friends were throughout the diaspora. And these diaspora wars are very bizarre to me, right? Because why can't we just respect each other's cultures and ethnicities and experiences and work together? Why can't y'all get that through y'all heads? And then Sha'Carri, I guess Sha'Carri came in last place. Sha'Carri Richardson. She came in last place, which I can't even, I still haven't watched the video of her doing it, but I'm like, whoa. How does a woman that was pointing at the clock because she was so fast in the qualifiers, how does she go get dead last? That's crazy, right? But then you see people that are like gleefully celebrating this this loss for her, right? And it's like all she did was run. And she lost her mom or her grandma, right? I'm not sure if it was her mom or her grandma that she lost, right? I think it was her mom. Yeah, she lost her mom, right? She lost her mom. She's running for this country. She's minding her business, but everybody's got something to say, and everyone's using her, as a sort of proxy to war with on this diaspora ish, and I'm not going to fall for it. I think that's another a deter. I think that it's a way for people to control what you're doing, because if you guys are warring with one another, if the men are warring with the women and the diaspora is warring, everybody's at war. Then how are you going to fight these structures and these systems? You're not. That's the answer. You're not. So they won't let y'all sit there and say a lot of the ish that y'all are able to say to each other. They won't let y'all say that to other races of people, but they'll let y'all say that to each other. They'll let y'all talk to each other the way that y'all do. That's not an accident. That's not an accident. And that you could participate and not understand how you're being used and not understand that what you're doing is not serving you, does not be benefiting you, does not behoove you. Means that that you need to heal. You know what I'm saying? You need to be more introspective. You need to do a lot of inner work. So on my channel in the community section, if you're in here, please subscribe to the channel and thumbs up the video. Appreciate your support. On my community tab, I asked my subscribers to let me know where they were from and some of their experiences. Okay, and I'm going to read some of them now, and I'm going to comment back to them right now. Okay, so one person says, I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to read the ones that I that told me a little bit about themselves and that I want to respond to. Okay, but everyone that commented, thank you, and I read all of your comments, and you guys are great. Okay. So someone says, I'm from Haiti. I was born and raised there. At the age of 10 years old, I came to the United States in 1999. It was a culture shock for me. Living in America has been both negative and positive. Negative due to the racism, positive because of better opportunities for education and work. If America wasn't a racist environment, I believe both my work and school experience would have been great. Dealing with racial trauma and toxic Black people have caused me to view this country differently. I want to go back to Haiti, but it will not be possible. That hurts a lot. I love growing up in my home country. I would give everything I have to go back, but going back will never be possible due to poverty, crime, lack of resources. Pains me deeply. And that was Star Sky. Thank you, Star Sky. And I did respond back to that, but I want to say a little bit more. And I responded back that I'm sorry that you had such negative experiences. and that this country in general is not an easy place for Black people. It just isn't, because of the rampant anti-Blackness that it was established on. And so when people are hurting, hurt people hurt. And you know what I'm saying? Doesn't make it right, but hurt people hurt. Right? And I see it going both ways. Absolutely. And unfortunately, everyone is participating in anti-Blackness. Everyone is participating in anti-Blackness, including Black people. In a lot of ways, when you uphold colorism, when you have classism, that nepotism, right? These are all ways that other Black people can hurt other Black people. Sexism, right? Bigotry. So basically so that's what I commented back. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to tell her, right? Is like all of these things are going on. All of these structures are making life very difficult for us as Black peoples. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that as well. But you can't acknowledge it if you just sit back and allow yourself to be brainwashed and indoctrinated. Then you can't. And I'm talking about adults. Like, shame on you for letting your children be indoctrinated. Shame on you for, I see a lot of women and they still don't understand the importance of like Black dolls for their young Black daughters, or Black and brown dolls for their Black and brown children, right? And they give their children white dolls, and I'm like, I don't care what anybody. People have told me, oh, my daughter has brown dolls. That's great, but she lives in a society that's telling people that white women are better than other women every day. Black women don't live in that society, so you have to empower your daughter and surround her with beautiful images of herself and tell her she's beautiful, and make sure she's around people that tell her that she's beautiful and uplift her more than anything, because we live in a society that's saying the opposite. But so people, they do what they want. So that's my response to that. Okay. Another person, Carpathian Pixie 195, says, born and raised partly in Haiti, moved to Montreal at 8 years old, and then did high school in the States, 2 years in Connecticut and 2 years in Miami. Surprisingly, I hated Miami. The dynamics between Haitians and Afro-Americans put me off. Hating on each other when we should all be helping each other. Segregated neighborhoods and flagrant neglect of the predominantly Black ones. People telling me I'm acting like a white girl, calling me Oreo, but I thank God for never having experienced overt racism, even though being illegal meant I was never allowed to do anything or go anywhere. I'm glad I came back to Canada, but I know my experience has helped open my eyes in the ways of the world. Wow, that's really interesting. That's a really interesting experience. So she really felt like she couldn't even move around when she was here, because she didn't have like a legal status. That makes me very sad to hear. And I think that it's great that she recognized, right, like this weird fighting back and forth between Black people, and how it worsens your experience. It doesn't help you at all, so I don't see the point. But there are a lot of people that are making money off of you guys being angry with each other, and I think I think that Black people have fun doing that. And it's like, what if you translated that energy into fighting against all these systems and structures that are oppressing you? But like, nobody wants to do that, because that's not cool and that's not easy. And I get it. I don't spend 24/7 doing that either, but I incorporate it into all that I do. Right? Like, I don't work for the government. I can't fight the government 24/7 or yeah. But the work that I do, I incorporate my understanding of dismantling these oppressive systems into everything that I do. And we're not all doing that. And other people are benefiting and making money off of you guys fighting each other over various things. And I believe that's part of the system that's telling people to focus on the BS so that you're not focused on what these systems and structures are doing to you. And that's part of the healing. It really is. And if you don't want to do it, then you're not healing. So I don't know what y'all talking about. I know a lot of people that'll sit and they'll do like a meditation. They'll do a meditation on a meditation app and they're doing yoga and they're like, I'm healing. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not, because nobody can talk to you about anything before you snap, crackle, pop. Nobody can talk to you about anything. You're not healed, baby. Child, you are not healed. It goes deeper than that. And sometimes a lot of people will just be like, I gave my life to God. Anything else? Did anything else happen besides you saying you gave your life to God? Please keep in mind, I went to Catholic school, kindergarten to 12th grade. I spent the majority of my life in church. I lived in foster home for years with a pastor of a Baptist church. I know everything about church. Going to church alone is not how you heal. Okay? So what works have you done? What are you doing? Right? What are you doing? What are you confronting? And I'm not joking when I tell y'all, don't come to my channel trolling. Go to your daddy. Go to your daddy that left. Go troll him. I bet you would feel a lot better trolling him than you would me. That's why you come back every day to do it. Come on. Go troll the dude that broke your heart. Go troll the girl that wasn't nice to you and made you feel yeah. I don't know. You know, as y'all getting older and older and y'all becoming more miserable, not changing. All right, I think I got one more comment. Oh yeah, and anyways, about being called to Oreo. Girl, I already know what that's like, right? And people told me for years that, oh, you sound like a white girl. Oh, you talk like an Oreo. And again, as I said a billion times, there's no one in the world that talks like me. I have not heard them. I have, my voice can go very high and very low. Most people can't do that. Not in America. That's just a fact. So I don't know what you're talking about. But, you know, again, it's this labeling, right? It's this putting each other in a box. I experienced that my whole life. You know, people don't want to believe it because I say baby. I don't know why. Like, people like don't understand that, like, again, going back to this awkward black girl experience, right? It's not just like, oh, black people didn't think I was cool. I mean, yeah, some black people thought I was cool. Some black people didn't. But there's always a feeling of rejection about something. You know, for me, it was growing up in foster care, and that's not most black people's experience. That's not most people's experience. And so, you know, I was othered for that. And I refused to put myself in a box. And so people would be like, what are you doing? What are you listening to? What are you wearing? Why do you talk like that? Right? And I'm like, don't worry about it. And I'll never change. I didn't change then. And here I am today, being myself. And being happy in that. I see women, you've all seen them, beautiful women. They look miserable. They don't smile. They don't smile. There's nothing behind their smile. There's nothing behind the eyes. We see it every day. Absolutely, Chan Moon. Absolutely undefined artist. Okay. And people don't want to do that work. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be around me. This is what I had going on. I had people coming into my house. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I wish I could afford a pair of jeans like that. But you know, we can't all have a brand for a husband. But wouldn't it be nice if I could have big? What? I've told y'all a billion times on this channel. They get mad when they have the same ops. It's the only people that ever go hard at me is people that had the same ops. You had the same opportunities I had. What you talking about? I grew up in foster care. Every little opportunity I had, I took it. Now I gotta apologize? For what? For not crumbling? They want you to apologize when you didn't crumble. They want you to apologize and put yourself in the box that they live in. I don't live in a box, baby. I live in a bubble. Okay, if I gotta live in any type of small structure, it's gonna be a bubble, baby. It's not gonna be a box. And that doesn't mean anything. I'm just ranting. But anyways, the point is, right? You know, I refuse to try to make feel ashamed by people. You know, it'll be, even white people I interact with, they're like, oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Y'all flexed on me for years. I grew up in foster care. I went to private Catholic schools. I went to PWIs. Y'all flexed on me for years. My God this, my God that, and we're going on vacation. We're going here. We're riding a horse, right? And I was sitting there eating my slice of government cheese. Now I'm talking about my vacations. Now it's a problem? What's going on? So I can't have nothing? God damn. They want you to have nothing. And that's why I told you I go to that video that I had. My little YouTube short which is from TikTok, of me doing the don't you feel silly, don't you feel stupid, right? Joking, having a good time for myself, like I do with my TikTok videos. All right, you've got people here on YouTube talking to you like this, telling you they're from Britain, right? And you don't know a thing about them. And it's so easy. It's so easy to manipulate. I don't even go into an Irish accent for you and manipulate you there. Oh, I'll be the only black Irish person on YouTube. I'm the only black Irish person on YouTube. Right? And I'll be talking to you, and they'll be like, she black Irish. She black Irish. Like, what are you talking about? Open your eyes. People are out here deceiving. I'm the only person that came on and say I do it for a living, baby. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. Doing what I can. Gonna eat everything to the appearance of man. It's Raptor. It's Raptor. Mrs. Doubtfire. Yo, feel me? I'm living below the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil. Check it out if you haven't watched Mrs. Doubtfire. You're behind. Okay, it's a classic. All right, so people don't want you to have anything. They don't want you to have a good time. Oh, when they see me having a good time, I'm telling you right now, I've never got so much evil stares in my life. When I was struggling and wearing the flats that broke down in the back, all right, feet soaking wet, walking in the rain, stepping in puddles and ish in New York City. Nobody gave me no looks. Nobody gave me no looks. But if they see me out, I'm out with my husband, and I'm dressed up, having time in my life, a bunch of evil eyes. Well, surprise, surprise. You're just going to have to live with it. Because what can I do? It's something I can do. It's my life. I'm going to have a good time, baby. So what I'm not going to do is put up with people being passive aggressive to me, making snide comments. Because they haven't done their healing work. Because that's the only reason you would do that. If you look at my channel, I don't do that. I don't talk about people because I don't care. I don't care about other people. I only care about myself, my family, and my Steelies. I promise you that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, if you're not here regularly, I'm not thinking about you. Yeah. What? I promise you that. Let me see if there's any more left before I close out of that conversation. Okay, I think there's one more. Yeah. So this person called the Whoever says, I'm African American through and through, born in the lower Alabama portion of Florida. We're a weird mix of country and beach bum life. That's interesting. Seafood and soul food is life. As an ADOS, I feel like we're the most disrespected yet imitated of the diaspora. We have the worst stereotypes against us and still continue to give support where it isn't deserved. We've knocked down doors here on this land that has made it easier for others within the diaspora and for other minorities in America. I don't care what people say about us. I'll always be proud to be ADOS and will always be the one to remind people of the culture they constantly imitate and steal from while having the nerve to dismiss and denigrate it. Dealing with non-ADOS Black people acting as if I shouldn't be proud of who I am. Discriminating against someone in their own country when they're a whole, okay. Dealing with non-Black people constantly undermining us. Disrespectful. We deal with a lot as ADOS people, but no matter what, I'm so proud to be a traditional Southern African American with a rich history in this country. We have a lot of work to do, but we should never forget what we've accomplished. We've moved mountains, honor your African American ancestors by never letting people forget that. And I absolutely agree with that, especially that last part there, right? Like, we should be proud of who we are. Everyone should be proud of who they are. And it was me living in New York where people are really proud of where they're from here. They're really proud of where they're from here. It is a melting pot, but there's still, you got Little Italy, you've got, Chinatown, you've got, where the Haitians live, where the Africans live, where, a lot of Hispanic people live, where white people live, where Black people live. All of this stuff going on in New York. At the same time, it is a melting pot. So we're learning from each other and all of that stuff is happening. And when I saw my friends from New York throughout the diaspora and how proud they were of where they came from, it made me more interested in learning more about who I am and where I come from. And that's why I started doing more of that work, that healing work, that knowledge. Educating yourself is so important. And because I've done that, I understand that there are bigger systems at play that want us to not like each other. And I'm not going to do it. Again, when I was growing up, it was a lot of Jamaican Americans were my friends, and they were very nice to me. And I love Jamaican food, baby. And I love Jamaican people, um, but at the same time, I've also interacted with Black people who made it very clear that me being from this part of the diaspora meant that they thought that they were better than me and that I was less than them. And I see the comments going both ways where people feel like, hey, you're saying I'm from a third world country. And people saying, well, hey, you're saying that I'm basically a slave, right? And you're making fun of each other and you're poking at each other. And it's got to stop. It won't be allowed on my channel. And that's point blank, period. We're getting ready for the aliens over here. I don't know what else to tell you. In my home, we're ready for outside intrusion. If my husband has a problem with me, I'm like, oh, baby, we better solve it. And he does the same thing to me. He's like, come on, let's do it. Let's solve it. Of course, he doesn't say it like that. He's like, let's solve it. Right. I'm making fun of him. Okay. Let's figure it out. All right, look at you, appropriator. All right, we call him the appropriator, the appropriator. But yeah, I thank you guys for sharing your stories with me. And if you want to go to the community tab and tell me more about yourself, please feel free to do that under that post. I want to hear more about you guys and your experiences and where you're coming from, because I genuinely care. But unfortunately, no, I can't make every video like this. Like, again, these are conversations I have with my top tier Steelies over on my Patreon. I can't make every YouTube video like this because we at war. We at war, baby. So anyways, my husband's back with my food and I'm gonna get going. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a blessed Sunday morning. I hope that you understand that you can heal and you're worthy of healing. You're worthy of breaking these generational traumas and curses. I don't have the relationships with family that I want to have, but I'm going to stand firm in breaking these generational curses. And they are more than welcome to join me at any time. I've had family members, extended family members, none of which I'm in contact with, say to me, oh, well, you should get in touch with Uncle so-and-so and this and that. Absolutely not. I heard he's a predator. Fuck are you talking about? And when you can acknowledge that, maybe I'll be around you. Do you understand? I'm not going to be around somebody that's a predator. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's gross. That's weird. I would never let my father into my home because I will never let a deadbeat daddy through my door. Just like you don't let vampires through your door, baby. And I'm dead ass. Cut the cameras. Dead ass. I'm dead ass. Okay? I wouldn't let a vampire through my door. And I'm not letting deadbeats. I'm not letting people that like to make mistakes and think this shit is a game. I don't want anybody that think this is a game through my door. I mean that. Get with it. Get a clue. So people think they're doing something to me, but all that happens is my life just continues to be blessed. I'm being honest. They think they're doing something to me, by not changing. You're not doing nothing to me. You're hurting yourself. Absolutely. But at the same time, of course, I'm going to let it be known without hesitation that I see a lot of bullies around these parts. And you try it on somebody else. Try it on your mama. You ain't going to try it over here. You're not. You're not. I'll troll a troll. That's nothing. So people try to troll my channel, I will go and troll you back. That's not a problem. That's not a problem. It's a lot of hurt people, and I don't want to interact with hurt people that are reckless. You can be hurt and still going through it. And you can come over here and try to learn something, but it's going to be on some respect because I give respect. I don't come on and curse out my subscribers. I handle stuff when it happens. I'm just being honest. I handle stuff when it happens. I handle it because I'm about that life. Because I don't believe in carrying ish. I don't believe in carrying no more. And that is freeing, and that's been part of my healing journey. And I want to share that with y'all this morning. Hi, Esley. Thank you so much. I want to share that with y'all this morning. Like I said, the video that I had up yesterday will be taken down this evening, and this video will ultimately be moved to Patreon as well. I'll keep some of my DanieSteel podcasts up, but a good amount of them will be moved to my Patreon, where I have discussions like this. I'm gonna pray for your healing, but you're not gonna come over and bully me. I'm gonna pray, and guess what? It's a general prayer. It's a general prayer for healing for people that think they want to with me. I'm gonna pray for anybody to heal that thinks that they're gonna come over here and do that. Try it on somebody stupid. Okay? A lot of people want to talk about now, they want to talk about being sapiosexual. Oh, I'm a sapiosexual. Oh, I love smart men. I love intelligent men. Since when? And what? And how can you prove that? Let me tell you something. I can prove that. My husband is a genius. My husband is literally one of the smartest men alive. Just period. It is what it is. So trolling me is a big mistake. Just be honest. Just post in the chat. Your feelings are hurt. That's what I'm talking about. It will serve you better to just post in the chat, you know what? My feelings are hurt. You triggered me. You hurt my feelings. Okay? Because I caught a little bit of that Cynthia G live yesterday. These dudes out here crying. If you want to cry, just cry. Why do you need to troll? These dudes out here crying, hurt, unhealed. All right, and it's a lot of crazy chicks out here doing the same, and I'm aware of all of it. So keep working on your healing. Keep working on your empowerment. Keep working on your education and the knowledge and wisdom that you have. I'm going to get going. And enjoy my little brunch here. So thank you guys so much for joining me. And stay blessed. I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you. Me.